Boys, I want to go to Giuseppe first on this next talking point. I keep seeing these stories, Arsenal and Chelsea both heavily linked to Ivan Toney. Now, I want to, what is he worth the £70 million price tag, maybe even higher, that's now being discussed? It's reported today that Chelsea will likely put in a big money offer for him in January. Is this a player, in your opinion, that no matter what happens, Arsenal needs to make sure they sign ahead of Chelsea? Is it a must-have in terms of January for you?
A striker is a must-have, and a number 8 is a must-have. So depending on the price for me, they must-have. No, because if they offer anything around 100+ million, then I'm sorry, then we might have to look elsewhere. Arsenal they're just not going to sell that. We see it last January with Mudryk. Chelsea outbid us. They know they can do that. They've got money coming out of everywhere. So for me, I think Toney is my guy. That's the guy I want. It's a personal preference thing. I love the guy. I think he's got the right work ethic. I think he's the right type of player that we need. We're not really replacing Jesus, in my opinion. We're bringing someone in to accompany Jesus where you can rotate, you can play one different type of games, you can play them together. So I think Ivan Toney is a great quality player. I think people say Osimhen and that. If Ivan Toney's going, if Chelsea are bidding 100 million for Ivan Toney, that's because Osimhen's going to cost them 150 million. Like there's no way that when people keep saying, oh, why would you go for Toney when you can get Osimhen? Osimhen's going to be at least 50, 60 million higher than whatever they ask for Toney. For the style, I think Toney's the guy. And I would say Arsenal need to go all out for him. But at the same time, we can't leave ourselves short like we always do. We can't go and sign Toney and spend all our budget on Toney and then not buy a midfielder, because I think that's as important for us this season. If we want to go and win the league, that is, if we want to go and compete and try to win the league, we need at least one midfielder and a striker. And I'm talking a quality midfielder and a quality striker, not just anyone. So I would love him. Chelsea can outbid us. We know Chelsea can. But then can the player have sway? Players do have a say in transfers. I don't care what anyone says. If Mykhailo Mudryk last year wanted Arsenal that bad, he would have sat and said, I'm not leaving unless I get Arsenal, and he'll get Arsenal. So you see it with Raya. A couple other teams wanted him for higher prices than what we paid. They didn't get him. The player obviously pushed a bit more for Arsenal, in my opinion. So listen, it's down to Toney. I think if you're the player and you're Toney, you've got to pick Arsenal. I think it would be stupid to pick Chelsea. Maybe that's my bias against Chelsea. But I just don't think he suits Chelsea the way he'll suit Arsenal. And I think if he wants to win something within the next few years, I think Arsenal's more of a destination where that can happen than Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea have the capability of just clicking all of a sudden next season and winning something. We know the caliber of players they have. But that's ifs and buts. I think Arsenal look right now like we can win the league this year with the right additions to the team. So I think, so if I was Toney, I'd be coming to Arsenal. We know Chelsea can outbid us. They can outbid anyone near enough. We've been told Arsenal have these FFP things. We're close on the FFP. I don't really know. But yeah, for me, I think that's who we got to go for, striker-wise.
Can you offer him an 8-year contract, though? That's the question.
No, I would never offer him an 8-year contract regardless because of his age. I just...
yeah, that's the big question.
I want to throw a question to Deji here. Chelsea or Arsenal? I know you don't like either club. You're a Spurs fan. Where do you think he's best off going for a player it will be his first big move, but his last big move at the age that he is? Should he go to Arsenal that are on the edge of winning something big, or should he join this Chelsea project and maybe be the goal scorer that sends them back into title challenges, the ability to get back into the Champions League? Where do you think Ivan Toney's best going?
Yeah, I think this is a simple answer. I think when you look at Ivan Toney's profile, I think actually Chelsea probably suits him more. I say that because the way that Chelsea are set up, what they need and what they've been lacking is someone who can just bury the ball in the back of the net. And what you get with Ivan Toney is somebody who can bury the ball in the back of the net. I think with Arsenal, I disagree with my learned friend. I think he will be all right, but I think there'll be a lot of rotation. The whole thing with Jesus, who's going to be the main man? Ivan Toney needs to go to a club where he's going to be the main number 9. Is he going to be the main number 9 at Arsenal? I think that's a question mark. But also, I just think, even though you say Arsenal are on the brink of maybe winning something. I do feel like the Chelsea project is probably more exciting. We saw the kind of hustling or battling between Liverpool and Chelsea over Lavia, and Lavia picking Chelsea because he felt that that was probably a project that suits his playing style, more exciting project. Pochettino seems to be cooking now a little bit. If I was Ivan Toney, I'd definitely go Chelsea. That probably makes more sense in my opinion.
More exciting? What are you saying, Giuseppe? Chelsea
Nah,
more exciting project than you?
I don't know if you have a
Arsenal's not
little
an exciting project.
I don't know if you've just got a little bit of Arsenal hate there, like which is fair because you're a Spurs fan. I'm not saying that it's clouding your judgment, but to say Arsenal ain't exciting, he's going to be playing with two of the most exciting wingers in the league. We've got the most exciting centre back in the league. We've got Declan Rice that's come into the team. Yes, people might think he's overrated, but he's a quality player. You're going to have Odegaard playing there, no matter what people want to say about his form this season. He's a quality player. It's a team to say that it won't suit him and Chelsea will suit him more. That's just. He's
going to be the main. He's going to be the number. He's going to be the main man.
I don't like this.
Is he going to be the main man at Arsenal?
Here's the thing. As a football fan, I hate this thing of this guy is just the main man. No, you come and prove yourself. We're a big club. If Arsenal want to be a big club like Man City, no one's guaranteed in Man City. No one signs and is just guaranteed to be the star of Man City. If they don't perform, they don't become the star. You've got to perform to be the star in big teams. So you come and make yourself the prime number 9 in Arsenal Football Club. You make it that you can't be dropped. Haaland went to Man City last year and made it to the point where he can't be dropped. And the way other players are rotated at City, he wasn't really rotated. And City were playing with a false 9, similar to Arsenal, a similar system, and they fit Haaland in, and they made it work. And look at the goals he scored. He's the top goal scorer ever in the Premier League. So to say he won't suit Arsenal and we can't fix it to make him work, I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Giuseppe, so you actually agree with him? You're telling me that Ivan Toney, if he hears you talking, he's going to choose Arsenal over Chelsea. Deji here is saying that he wants to go to be the main man. It's his last big contract. He wants to score goals. But you as an Arsenal fan telling him, yeah, come in, battle it with Jesus, see who's better. He's going to say, no, I'm going to go to Chelsea, start every week, score abundance of goals. You're literally saying what Deji's saying.
Well, no, because you're talking like he ain't going to have competitions with Nkunku. Like, I think Nkunku's a better player than Jesus in a very similar fashion of play style. They're both kind of false 9s. And I think to say that he's just guaranteed to start in Chelsea, I think is also not true.
Well, I think he's definitely guaranteed to start at Chelsea. So yeah,
he's guaranteed to start at Chelsea. Come on,
you're talking with a Chelsea but you haven't seen Nkunku in Chelsea yet. What about if Nkunku starts next game and from then he's scoring goals every game up top? Then your argument will change. For me, listen, you got to get people with the right mentality. Ivan Toney should come in with the mentality of, I score 20 to 30 goals a season in the Premier League. I'm going to be the starting guy in this team. And then you make yourself the starting guy in the team. That's just how I see it. I don't think any player should go anywhere. If you want to be going somewhere and guarantee yourself football, Toney, go and join Aston Villa. Well, is he guaranteed in Aston Villa with Ollie Watkins? I don't even know. So listen, for me, you've got to say that he's more suited to Chelsea, I think is wrong. Yes, maybe you could say it's more exciting because Chelsea have an abundance of money, but with that comes an abundance of players. You say that he's guaranteed to start in Chelsea, but look how many players they got. Look how many wingers they got. None of them are guaranteed to start anywhere.
By the way, when I said that, I actually think that Arsenal, like if you are a sane player that wants to win now, which is he wants to win now because he's older, I think he should join Arsenal. I think Ivan Toney, along with Gabriel Jesus, together, if they get a number 8, I think their starting 11 is as competitive as everybody else. This is I just have to clear that out. Like me agreeing with Deji regarding the starting players is different than actually who should he join. I think he should be joining Arsenal, of course. Like, come on. We know that Arsenal are a more stable club than Chelsea, aren't we? Are we saying otherwise? Is anybody here thinks that Chelsea is more stable than Arsenal at the moment? I don't think so. I think we actually have no idea. Like, people keep saying Pochettino winning, but Pochettino is playing good against teams, the bigger teams, because they attack him, they try to press. But against slow blocks, he still hasn't figured it out. We don't know if against Sheffield United or Everton away, Chelsea will win. But we know that Arsenal at the moment, 1 point behind Man City, they haven't played the best football, but he can be the guy who come in and they play the best football again. And I think they're closer to winning the league this year, at least this year, than Chelsea next year. Wow.
Funny enough.
Talk about it.
I was gonna say, does this not all show? And this is no disrespect to Tony, because I like Tony. I think Tony's a really, really, really good striker. But then you just said, obviously, Sepe, about getting someone like Osimhen, who I think is also another good striker. He'd be maybe like 150 million. Can anyone name like any other strikers out there that would be available that we could sign, who are top strikers that could realistically come in? Like, I feel like we're almost scraping the bottom of the barrel for strikers anyway. Like, if they're not already Haaland, who's at Manchester City, if you're not Harry Kane, who's at Bayern Munich, now we're literally looking at all strikers, maybe Osimhen potentially, who are kind of on the same level. Like you mentioned about Nkunku and Toney. Let's just say, we think that Nkunku is going to come in and probably do as well as we think he is. It's like the same level as Toney. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like unless he's going to show another level, which we don't know. But all of these strikers, to me, all sound like they're all the same. So really, does it make that much of a difference? Like, you've got Jesus already. You mentioned about him obviously battling with Toney. I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, Jesus is like the same level as a Toney anyway. So are you improving the team that much? Like, I don't really know.
I think it'd be improving the team, bro. I think it would. Listen, I think it's going to be an interesting one, because I don't think it's. I think it'll be a difficult decision about where he goes. To be honest with you, I think going Chelsea is an attractive move for Toney, but so is obviously going Arsenal. I don't think it's an easy decision for him at all. But another thing about Nkunku, we don't even know where this guy's going to play. Is he going to? People are just assuming that he's going to come and play as the striker. But I've seen him a few times, and he plays everywhere. You know what I mean? He's very versatile. So we don't actually know if he's going to be the striker yet. We have no idea. But listen, it's going to be whoever gets him. I think it's a great signing. There is a talent drain in football, bro. You are right. I think that's why United got someone like Højlund, because he's probably the best of the rest. There isn't them elite level strikers out there. There is a big talent drain. The one thing I would say is Tony's a very, very good player. And whoever gets him, I think it'll be buzzing. And because of that, they're going to pay a high premium, because there's no one else out there. Brentford know they've got a player who scores goals in the Premier League and that they can hold everyone to ransom. So listen, I don't know where he's going to go. I think he could go anywhere. He's going to improve both sides. But the only thing on Nkunku is he going to be a striker? If Nkunku, obviously they're probably not going to tell him this. I don't know, but the only thing is if he's speaking to Chelsea and Chelsea are like, yeah, Nkunku's going to be the striker, I might favour Arsenal, because I think after a month or so, I think he'd move Jesus out of the team. I think he'd be better for Arsenal than Jesus personally.
Do you know what's really interesting? I get all the arguments, and I think both are attractive for different reasons. I do believe what it will really come down to is which one offers in the best wages. And that's not even a dig. Like, at the end of the day, that really matters to players. If one club says there's 150,000 a week, the other one says there's 190,000 a week, that's also going to sway him. But I do think there's a world where he can play with Nkunku. I do think there's a world where he can play with Gabriel Jesus, because they're not the same type of players. Now, Ivan Toney can play deeper and hold the ball up, but I think there's a world where they can play together. And we've seen number 9s become popular again. We saw marauding fullbacks be popular. Now it's the inverted type. Playing two strikers again could be the next phase or something that was old becoming new again in football. And you never had two out-and-out number 9s. You used to have a number 9 and a number 10. Before they were called number 10s, it was just the second striker, the kind of the Teddy Sheringham, Chris Sutton-esque. And there was a number of them in the Premier League that were very, very good at that. And you could have a situation where you could start Gabriel Jesus and Toney in games, and they just play next to each other. And Gabriel Jesus is just that little bit deeper, as an example. And in fact, Toney's so talented, you could rotate that. One plays 9, then drops. It can be very hard for defenders. So I think there's so many options for Arsenal and Chelsea if they get either. And I do think he's a player. There was a super chat that came through that I thought was interesting. I'm going to try and find it here. I want to pose this to you all. It says, Toney hasn't been proven against low blocks yet. Would that be a concern that Brentford don't come up against teams that sit behind the ball too much?
I think
Very, very
obviously,
good argument. Absolutely.
I think it's a good argument, but I think Toney, the type of player that Toney is, he's a nightmare for defense. We've seen him; he's a nightmare for defenders and stuff. I don't think the low block would really affect him, because he's also good in the air. Like, he's got all the. For example, with Arsenal and the way we play with the low block, we get the opportunities. Maybe a bit less this season, but we get the opportunities. We just have two strikers that don't put them away enough. Jesus, I love him, and as you were saying, like, he's the same level as a Toney, maybe, but in different ways.
Yeah,
strike in front of goal wise. There's a much
Mm.
difference between the two of them. Tony's much more capable to put the ball in the back of the net than Jesus.
Yeah,
So that's what we need.
Can I
agreed.
just add something to that, please?
Yep.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, just I don't know when back to talk. Your signal tonight is awful, bruv. You need to get a
Yes,
LAN. You need to
because
get a cable.
I have a problem.
You need to get
I
an
know.
Ethernet
I'm using
cable.
my
Plug it
phone
in. No
signal.
more Wi-Fi. I don't see Toney leaving one mid-table club for another. He would definitely choose Arsenal. We know Chelsea ain't staying mid-table for long. What if Toney does the Elise and just decides to stay at Brentford, which some rumours are suggesting? He might do. He might feel he owes Brentford something. What I've read is that he might sign a new deal that has a release clause and then leave in the summer. He could potentially do that. And I think short term, that hurts both Chelsea and Arsenal that both need more goals. So if he does do that, it's just good news for Brentford. You know, they might put like a 80, 90 million buyout clause in there, but we'll see. This goes to this. This is here says, for me, the ceiling of Chelsea's squad is the sky, whereas White, Zinchenko, Havertz, Trossard, Raya is that really exciting. There's no success yet, is what Jimmy says there, Giuseppe.
Yeah, that comment there for me, like, fair enough, mate, if that's what he thinks. But to say that, like, Chelsea, all the players Chelsea have signed have proven anything yet, like to put Trossard in there when, like, Trossard's a great player for me. Obviously Zinchenko's and Havertz, they haven't done it. Like, Zinchenko's a quality player. He ain't maybe the level that people expect and stuff that we need. But to say we're not exciting, he's just missed out all our exciting players. He's not put Saliba, he's not put Saka, he's not put Odegaard, he's not put Rice. He's not named none of them. That's like me going, oh, why would he be excited to go Chelsea? He's got Mudryk, a very old Thiago Silva, Reece James that's always injured. Like that's you're not mentioning players that will make it exciting. You're just fitting your argument.
Jerome here is a Spurs fan, says Toney will fit Chelsea because their style of play will suit him a lot better.